You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit. Anyway, hello, hi everyone, and welcome to Real Koru. This is my channel. Let's see if we can keep the energy light and fun and airy. So, I was recently on here live the other day talking about how we're having this new moon in Cancer. And then I was like, and at the same time, the nodes are shifting Aries Libra. And then I was like, well, it's a shame that Capricorn is the only cardinal energy without a planet. And then I was like, oh, Pluto's retrograding Capricorn. Pluto made it just in time. But hey, Kido, how you doing? But what I didn't realize was that the nodes progress through the zodiac retrograde, and that, all right, well, I hope you're eating something delicious. I had some food that I was hoping would be good today, and it wasn't the best. I was slightly disappointed, but that's fine. Disappointment is a part of life, you know. Not every meal is going to be the best. I didn't realize that they were all hitting each other. It's almost Leo season, which means that it's like a late degree Cancer new moon. The nodes are literally just shifting, so the latest degree of Aries and Libra, and that Pluto just came from Aquarius, and it's slow. So it wasn't until Chris Corsini was like Grand Cardinal Cross in the sky that I was like, oh, yeah, they are all in aspect, aren't they? So I'm going to pull a card for each one. I want these. I'm going to read these all upright. Okay, this is the only card that's in reverse. I'm going to pull a card for each. I also haven't read the Sabian symbols. Ooh, the King of Cups and the Ten of Cups at the cut. Also, I feel like I haven't looked at the Sabian symbols in a hot minute, so I'm going to look those up. And then I'm going to see what's in the middle of all of it. Like, I would kind of love to, well, I guess I can. Oops. I would kind of love to build out the placements and then the oppositions. Oh, that's a lot. We'll see. Well, you might just see where it all meets. This is shuffling so nice. I'm using the Astro Matrix Tarot today because I haven't used it in a hot second. And I also wanted to grab the Osho Zen Tarot. I'm going to do that really quick. I'm going to scooch off frame. Also, I found Red and Chuck. I don't remember Red's name, but no, they live there. I'm just slowly adding more and more things to that shelf back there. What? Osho Zen was right there. So it's up here. Here it is. And we're gonna see what is up. What is up? Yeah, I can't believe it escaped me that all of those were in aspect. Or maybe it didn't, because I was thinking that it was a T-square, and then I was like, oh, Pluto is in Capricorn. It just retrograded, but I didn't, for some reason, in my brain, Pluto was entering Capricorn from the 0 instead of from the 29. This video was not sponsored by Arizona. I have no association with them besides drinking their. I'm not even on the Arnold Palmers anymore, honestly. I'm on the this green tea. So, oh, got a little catch in my back. Here we go. I will slide you here. I got the book. I don't know if I'll read it. It's probably going to be another reading heavy stream. A reading heavy stream. A reading heavy stream. Read. Okay. Anyway, sorry. There's also going to be some Googling. It's going to be a Google heavy stream because I don't have. I'm going to read these all up right. I got reversals in here. Oh, look, there's the Fool. I saw the Fool, right? The Fool was the only card in reverse. Oh, there's the Magician. It was at the top of the deck. So the Outsider, the Fool in reverse, and Guidance with Abundance. I can't see what you see. But I'm going to go grab my iPhone. I charged it yesterday. I just love how um, it's like the Sabian symbols by crosses or the Zodiac by crosses or whatever. I love the breakdown. I'm going to go grab that. Uno moment. Pour a favor, please. I'll be right back. I shall return in a moment. Not this iPhone still having some charge. I'm at 49%. That should be enough. That should be enough for our needs here today. I do need my glasses though. I do need my glasses. And just like that, I'm back. What? I made everything convenient. Besides that, well, I guess so. I was like, oh, the apps that I use all the time, there it is. I was like, I know it's at the top somewhere. At the top, never at the bottom. Oh, no, that was it. And it just disappeared for Robin Hood. Boo, give it back. It's the first one. Crosses of the Sabian symbols. Let's see. What are you called? Crosses of the Sabian symbols. Loosen the energy of your astrology by Beck Louis. So let's see. Crap. I will be right back again. I'm gonna grab my notebook. I got this little not sponsored notebook years ago on campus. Oh, now I need a pen. Oh gosh. I'm so ill prepared. One moment. Oh, so good news, less good news. Good news is I found scrap paper so I can save my notebook for the thing I wanted to use it for. Bad news is I did not have pens with the scrap paper. The all right news is that the book bag with pens should be right here. All of the emphasis being on the word should. Maybe I should have used the word may. It may be right here. Girl. Hello? Oh, wait. In the art box, which I think is in here, I have a bunch of gel pens. This is not the art box. Oh, ooh. Ouch. So the art box is a bin. The art box was a box once upon a time. Oh, see, there was a Prime Day, like 20. I think that was Emily. I'm pretty sure that was her name. So that was 2017? No, 2018. Prime Day 2018, I think. I bought like 100 gel pens, pen markers, colored, like an artist colored pencil set, and like 24 Sharpies to do all of the art things that never got done. But now that I have some space and some time, some of those art things just might happen. All right. 25 minutes later. So this is going to be a time of preparation. So obviously it would have been a lot better if all the preparation was done before, but there's something organic about you looking at that screen and then seeing me and then not seeing me. Okay. So I got my scrap paper. I got my cards. I don't know what color I'm going to use. I also have markers. I kind of want to use a Sharpie, but I don't want it to bleed through, so I won't. And I have so many choices. So many options. So many things to choose from. Well, obviously, I'm going to use a color that I can read because that would be preferred if I'm going to write, right? Ooh, there's like this beautiful purple, but I don't know how light that one is. I'm going to go with this one. No, I'm going to go with this other purple. It's like a not a royal purple. Ooh, but there's like this lavender that's really cute, but it's light. So we're going to go with this color. Not sponsored by whoever makes these gel pens. Line on. I kind of missed the gel pen craze when I was in elementary school. And so when I saw that years later, I was like, yeah, I will literally probably maybe never use these, but of course. But then when I did my La Fruma, the raw runes, I started by using the marker pens. It was too much. So then I switched to the gel pens and they worked. So I did end up using them. I'm just going to give this a few shuffles. I'm going to have to look at a chart to see where everything is before I can get it. Ooh, 6 of Wands with the Magician. Okay. I don't know why the Magician is feeling like Cancer today. I mean, it's typically Mercury, which is Gemini and Virgo. I don't know. Let's see. Do you work? No alcohol, no drugs, no firearms and weapons. University residences reserve the right to evaluate something something adult chaperone and dismiss them for any behaviors. This is scrap paper. Yeah. Why was I just thinking about? Oh, because I was like, why was I just thinking about conferences? Because I was working conferences. I was working a conference. I was working a check-in, and it was kind of slow, and I had my laptop, and I was browsing Prime Day, and that's when I ordered this stuff. Um, these are the like Purdue's rules and regulations, basically. Wow. Huh. That's the scrap paper. Let's see if this pen works. Pen. Yay. Pen work. I could have used the other one. Pen does work. All right. Fortunately, I have my handy dandy iPhone that has all of the everything that I got before I made the switch to Android on it, because Time Nomad is not on Android, and that makes me sad. It makes me sad, but it is okay. So we're looking at our grand cardinal cross. We have Aries. Ooh, Aries is at 25. Oh, so we'll do Aries. I guess Aries just got invited to the party. North Node at 29:55. Aries at 25:15. And then Cancer is the sun and moon of the sun and moon. And I'm just going to put them where the sun is. The moon's already moved 3 degrees, 25 degrees, 11 minutes. So it's like pretty close square to Aries. Libra has the south node at the same 29:55. And then Capricorn has Pluto at 29:13. (29°13). So have a safe drive. The thing with the Sabian symbols is either it'll be like a 0 to 29 or a 1 to 30. So I got to make sure I know which one I'm working with before. I'm actually, with the Osho Zen, I'm going to pull, I'm going to number these two. So I was going to start with the nodes, but since it's the new moon's the start of the show. And also, apparently, the next full moons are going to be the super moons of 2023. Is it 3 or 4? It might be 3. The 2 in August, the 1 in September. That might be it. Maybe the 1 in October. I don't remember. So we'll do these first. So this is going to be 1 and 2. The sun is going to be, we'll make the moon 1 today. The sun will be 2. Opposing that is Capricorn. So Capricorn's going to be 3. Pluto's going to be 3. We'll start with Eris as 4. And then the north node is 5. The south node is 6. So Eris is within the 5-degree orb of this. but she's more directly squaring the full moon because the nodes in Pluto are like 4 degrees away. So that aspect is still there. Hey, Codes of Harmony. Oh, how are you doing? That aspect is still there, but well, it's still there. So there's my little cheat sheet. I want to pull these before I read the Sabian symbols. Just because. See what's up. So, for the sun and the moon sitting to the north, for the moon. Ooh. I saw that card as I was shuffling. For the sun, it came out with number 15. Ooh. All of these, oh, fine. There's the sun and the moon, and then here are 2 face down cards because why not? I feel like a similar energy has already come out. So for the moon, it's conditioning. The sun came out with the 3 of water celebration. And then it knocked 2 cards out of the deck face down. I'll take them. I'll honor them. Next is Pluto. For Pluto in Capricorn. That was quick. Thunderbolt. Oh, snap. Not the moon being the devil and Pluto being the tower. But hey, 15, 16. Everything broken. This is my 4, Eris. Eris is coming out as courage. Look at all this major energy. Along with Eris is the North Node. Okay. Maybe. Everybody else was just like turning over. All right. Oh, there we go. North Node is receptivity, which is the Queen and the space of the Queen of Water, I think. It's all water and major so far, are the cards that are face up. And then the South Node. There we go. Actually, yep, there it is. Oh, fire. Playfulness. Not the clown makeup. Oof. Bottom of the deck is fighting, which is maybe the Knight of the Mind. This fighting is interesting, though, because it makes me think of the moon of conditioning with all that smoky haziness. Interesting. So now I'm going to read the Sabian symbols. I'm going to read the whole thing. So again, I guess I'm going to be reading different symbols, actually. Well, there's going to be 29 degrees of Aries, Libra, and Capricorn. Darn it. Oh, that's why I have multiple pieces. So we'll say 29 degrees of Aries, Libra, and Capricorn. And then this is the same one. Now we have a different one. This is going to be 25 degrees of Cancer. This is just some paper for me to jot down some quick notes because I'm taking it old school today. instead of just like using my computer or my phone to type. So, crosses of the Sabian symbols, Loosen Your Astrology by Beckley. We're gonna go. Oh, they didn't change up the book. They didn't change the book up, y'all. Loosen the energy of your astrology. Where am I? Where am I? The chapters. Here we go, I guess. So 0 to 1. So this would be 29 to 30. 29 to 30 of Aries, Cancer, Leo. I'm actually going to just write down the sun and the moon first, but I'm going to read the other ones, the others. So 25 to 26 degrees Cancer is contentment and happiness and luxury. People reading on Davenports. Okay, Cancer bringing out the good energy. Contentment. See, this is where I wish I could type. And this is like contentment and happiness. Luxury. Reading on Davenports. I don't even know what a Davenport is. I know a guy whose last name was Davenport who didn't work conferences, but who did work at Purdue. And everybody called him Deport or Davenport. I don't remember. That was more of a loose association. But I have my computer, so I can Google really quick. It's a large upholstered sofa, typically able to be converted into a bed. Oh, okay. Ah, okay. This is not what I was necessarily thinking when I heard Davenport, but that's fine. Do I need to put like furniture? Yep, Davenport furniture. Thank you. Now that is a little bit more okay. Yeah. All right. All right, got it. It's a couch. It's a couch. That might be a pull-out bed. So that's this one. And then for back to our other. For Aries, it's a duck pond and it's brood. This is so I don't have to keep flipping on my phone. Libra is 3 mounds of knowledge on a philosopher's head. And then Capricorn is a secret business conference. Okay. That automatically makes me think of that one time when I used magic cards, the one of like 4 times that I used magic cards, and Venus came out as like the legitimate business person. And I tried to clarify legitimate business person, and I think it gave me another legitimate business person. Okay. A secret business. I didn't even finish it. A secret business conference. I just put a secret business. A secret business conference. And then I am going to grab another color. I'll make it that light purple that I loved. That is like a little too light. Oh no, we're gonna go for this almost periwinkle. It's like a purple periwinkle though. Hey David, how you doing? Fun fact, periwinkle can be like a shade of blue or a shade of purple. I had a whole discussion about periwinkle with somebody one time. There's like a more blue and a more purple. Anyway, so the 29, this is not writing as periwinkle, but that's fine. Of Cancer is the daughter of the American Revolution, which is interesting. The moon is almost there as I'm recording this. Did somebody say 1776? Cool. All right. So for the cross, this is why I love this book in particular. So I'm just gonna read it to you. Aries 29 to 30 is a duck pond and its brood. That is, oh, I didn't do 25 of for Eris. I forgot Eris. No, I've been trying so hard to intentionally prioritize and remember Eris, and I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. So Aries. 25 of Aries is a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. What? Interesting. This man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. It draws my attention to the three lumps of knowledge, three mounds of knowledge on the philosopher's head for some reason. And that is Libra. So that's the Aries Libra opposition. But nothing, well, I guess the South Node is there, but it's not like directly opposing. It's 4 degrees, so we're counting it. It's within orb. I'm almost done with this. No problem. Okay, so Aries. This is the North Node. A man. Oh, that's no. I didn't switch it yet. Gotta go back. Gotta go back. Sorry. A duck pond and its brood is the North Node. Cancer, a daughter of the American Revolution, is empty at 29 to 30. Libra, which holds the South Node, is three mounds of knowledge on a philosopher's head. Capricorn, Pluto, a secret business conference. If it's Pluto in a secret business conference, it's a lot less jarring. What's interesting right off the bat, though, is that the three mounds of knowledge is on the South Node. So it's kind of, it feels like lessons of the past or things that we should have, quote unquote, learned already. I'm imagining mounds of knowledge as like knots on a cartoon head. You know, when you like whack somebody on the head and they grow a mound. I guess there's three of them. But it's like through experience. You know, you don't get a mound by not getting knocked upside the head with a certain amount of force. You know what I mean? Okay. So those are these. I'm going to read it straight from the thing. You ready? The theme of this cross is about social structures and the possibilities of future change. The revolution's daughter, Cancer. Instead of the sign, I'm going to say the planets. If I don't say a planet, then I guess I'll say empty. The revolution's daughter, absent, experiences reality affected by the previous generation. Her reality of what is possible is different to that of several generations ago, pre-revolution. Capricorn's conference is a discussion of possibilities affecting business events. Secrecy suggests the decisions have high stakes or are based on unpopular opinion. Libra's mounds of knowledge indicate different subjects, areas of knowledge, and the process of weighing up possibilities and their pros and cons. Politically, this symbol describes awareness of different lobby groups and their agendas. Aries' duck pond is an example of a familiar social dynamic that perpetuates generationally. The pond is a small water body that the brood belongs to. Similar to Aries 2 to 3, a cameo profile of a man in the outline of his country. Aries and Cancer in this cross illustrate the tension between our needs for security, North Node, and freedom, absent. We may continue the structures that we are born into, North Node, or throw a tantrum and shake things up, absent, or mull over all the options open to us, South Node, to discuss decisions internally, Pluto, before shrewdly steering the organization. Okay. So the one thing that we're not doing in that last paragraph, because it mentioned all 4 signs, we're not throwing a tantrum and shaking things up, which is interesting. We may continue the structures that we are born into, or mull over all the options open to us to discuss decisions internally before shrewdly steering the organization. So if I read this without Cancer, the theme of this cross is about societal structures and the possibilities of future change. Capricorn's, I guess Pluto's conference is a discussion of possibilities affecting business events. Secrecy suggests the decisions have high stakes or are based on unpopular opinions. The South Node's mounds of knowledge indicate different subjects, areas of knowledge, and the process of weighing up possibilities and their pros and cons. Politically, this symbol describes awareness of different lobby groups and their agendas. The North Node's duck pond is an example of a familiar social dynamic that perpetuates generationally. The pond is a small water body that the brood belongs to, similar to a cameo profile of a man in the outline of his country. The North Node in this cross illustrates the tension between our need for security. We may continue the structures that we are born into, or mull over all the options open to us to discuss decisions internally before shrewdly steering the organization. I don't think anything is in early Aries. Early Aries is currently empty. That's interesting. So there is no tension. Between our need for security and our need for freedom, because Cancer is absent. So now I'm going to go back 25, 26, and I guess I'm only going to read the parts of Aries and Cancer. Cancer is where the sun and moon are. Aries is where Eris is at 25 degrees. And some change. So, Eris, a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold, and the sun and moon, contentment and happiness and luxury, people reading on Davenports. This will be interesting. Eris's man has an abundance of resources at his disposal, which we assume makes life very easy. The ability to choose and not fear about wasting potential, because life will tell you what skills it needs you to use. While juggling these gifts requires skill, this symbol brings to mind the adage that it is better to look at it than look for it, to allay concerns about having too much. The theme of this cross is in the sun and moon symbol of contentment and happiness. Eris has many gifts. The sun and moon's readers are relaxed. Personal resources from Eris, physical comfort from the sun and moon, and some other stuff that's not there. Help us find ease in life. What ease have you gained right now? I don't know where this is going or how this is all going to play out. But I feel like there's some definite, I guess what's most interesting is this lack of tension. Um, from the purely like where the planets are standpoint, with nothing being in Cancer, 29 to 30 degrees. That daughter of the American Revolution, that one who is um, capable of envisioning a world beyond the one of those in power, beyond the ones like, because the daughters aren't making the decisions and choices. And according to Pluto, if you know who's making the decisions and choices, then you're kind of like in the know. Or, I mean, I guess it says a secret business meeting or a secret business conference. So, like, we're assuming that the secret is valid. I think what's interesting about that would be, though, it's like the people who we might think are making the decisions aren't actually the ones who are making the decisions. Because if they were, it wouldn't be a secret. Whatever this choice and decision is, though, Pluto came out with Thunderbolt. It feels like the lack of tension between freedom and security is that there's this point where they're sort of viewed as one and the same. Or it's like there's no security without freedom and there's no freedom without security. They become a little bit more inseparable. So our contentment and happiness, we have conditioning and celebration. Oof. Girl, I feel like this just became, there's like this energy here that's almost like, if we're content, it makes me think of Flursa and the La Fruma, because that's how Flursa just appeared to me. It's like if we're content with our lives, then nothing changes. It's like even if we're not happy with our lives, if we fall into a sense of comfort, it feels like almost shadow of Taurus, where it's like, and it's not necessarily the shadow of Taurus, and it doesn't necessarily belong to one sign in particular. But Uranus is in Taurus right now with Jupiter, I believe. Um, but it's like if we fall into the habits and patterns and we just get used to like complaining, but we never do anything to change anything, then it's like nothing happens. And that falls on this conditioning. And the conditioning came out with the moon. So that's like, it's deep. Let's look at this square. Since there is no opposition, I guess we're being literal today. The square in between Eris and the sun and the moon. Well, first, let's look at the conjunction between the sun and the moon. Ooh, you know what? I'm feeling bold. I really hope I don't regret this decision. I really, 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 really hope I don't regret this. I'm going to pull every card in between the sun and the moon. Oh, and like I said, I'm going to hope I don't regret it. Oh, look, there's a Three of Cups. Should I just take these? See, I was going to pull all the cards, but then the Three of Cups came out. There's like 4 cards as I was putting the deck together. They like slid into my lap. The Three of Cups, the Star, the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. I'm not going to take them, but those are there. There's almost this like misery loves company, this commiseration, this like, look how miserable we all are and how powerless we are at whatever. And what grows and becomes of that stagnation. Is this where the duck pond is? Where's the duck pond? Yeah, Aries 29 degrees, a duck pond and its brood. Okay, let's get this one. Well, we'll do one of these and then 2 of these. The Page of Swords came out. Any card that comes out, I'm just going to keep out. Well, that's the only one that came out. I'm not going to cut it. I'm going to pull from the bottom because it'll be quicker. So the Page of Swords came out, and then the Two of Pentacles is here at the bottom of the deck. Page of Swords is looking over at the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is focused on whatever she's doing in this infinity sign. It's almost like one of these mentioned pros and cons. That's what the Two of Pentacles is doing. But it feels like it goes beyond just listing pros and cons, because the next card is Judgment. And Judgment in this deck brings a Phoenix. And after Judgment is the Four of Wands. So gorgeous. But it's like it goes a step beyond, and it's pentacles. It's not air. It's more than just thinking about doing something. Like there are actions that are taken here to shift a dynamic in a situation. Like rather than just like thinking about all the problems in the world and being sort of overwhelmed, the Two of Pentacles is like about doing what she can to make the world just a little bit better, or like her community, or whatever is within her ability to influence or impact. That's what she does, rather than feeling hopeless and powerless, and rather than just like these people make those decisions and blah, 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 whatever. Then we have Judgment. Then we have the Four of Wands. Then we have the Six of Wands. Then we have the King of Wands. And then we have the Moon. And let's go. I'm scared because it came out so close to the bottom. Every card in between the Sun and the Moon. So the first card is that Magician that we saw in the beginning. I don't even know where I'm going to put these. Then we have the Ten of Wands. And then the Emperor. The High Priestess. The Hanged One. The Page of Wands, the Eight of Wands, Death, the Eight of Cups, the Hierophant, Strength, the Seven of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Page of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Tower, the World, the Eight of Pentacles, Temperance, the Knight of Pentacles, the Star, the Four of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, the Ten of Swords, the Four of Swords, the Two of Wands. My arm is getting sore. The Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Swords, the Six of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Devil, the Hermit, the Three of Wands, the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Fool, the Seven of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, Justice, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups, the Chariot, the Ten of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the Lovers, and the Sun. Oh my gosh. This is how many cards I didn't use. Those are all of the cards that are before the moon and after the sun. It's also interesting that the moon came out first and then the sun came out from the bottom because that's how I pulled them. So in all of that, there was an energy of like, honestly, taking responsibility. It's back on that Two of Pentacles. It's like it's doing the things that we can in our own lives to move our lives forward in whatever small way, because it's those small changes that add up and create big changes. There's also an energy of like a lot of like facing a challenge and moving forward, and then maybe hitting another challenge, or there being like other people in the environment and like a potential jealousy. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, well, some things are like a mirror. You get out of it what you put into it. If you don't put anything in, you're not going to get anything out. And it's also like this, it's being rewarded. I feel like when the nodes were Taurus, Scorpio, it seemed like it took so long for things to like be rewarded or to change. It feels like stuff slowed down in a progressing sense, but it like the work didn't stop piling up. You know what I mean? So maybe there was a period of time where it felt like a lot of work for barely any payout. I think there is also, especially towards the end, it's almost this like there's the side of competition. There's like the abundance mindset, and then the lack mentality, and within the lack mentality there's a competition for resources. And then it was like with this Five of Swords, when it came out, the Five of Swords to the Lovers, it feels like it's just like walking away. These walk away rather than playing into the thing and fighting. Also with it was here with the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. That's where like the competition over limited resources comes in. But then it's the King of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles, Five of Swords, and the Lovers. It's like this is an energy of like overcoming differences, working together to achieve a solution that's very real, very practical, and leads to a happy outcome for all. Oh, I'm plenty hydrated. I drank a lot before I came live. I'm just trying to not have to run to the bathroom constantly. Also, there is a little bit of like here, because again, it was like, here is where, because it was like this realization with the Ace of Swords. Well, first it was, okay, it was like all of this. Again, it's just like, it feels really like back and forth. It feels like there can be so many opportunities for challenge and obstacle to present themselves. And at any step along the way, we can decide to stop. But this is a grand cardinal cross. It's cardinal energy from every element. The only sign is go. And if you hit a stop, it's a turn, it's a pivot. This is that, like, I'm not going to wait for the train. I'm going to turn right and find a way to work around it. This is that, like, I don't have time to wait for somebody to come and fix this. Kind of. But it's just like, it's not to stop, it's to keep going or to not be stopped. But also, there are so many energies of collaboration and cooperation in here at the same time, because not everything can be done alone. And I think that's going to be like a test of egos is also here in this. But there are opportunities to receive things that we were never in a position to receive before, because maybe there were things that we had to handle and face and address, or there were things that we needed to overcome, or we needed to be changed in some way in order to be more easily and effortlessly aligned to receiving some of these things. But it was right here, like, this is it can be a little harsh, because it was after the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and that Queen of Cups. It was the Seven of Swords. It was the Fool, which is like taking that leap, which is another area in this. Like, it was the Two of Cups and the Six of Swords, or the Six of Swords and then the Two of Cups. It's like you make the move, you do the thing, and then things work out. And then there's like this other, like, Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, whatever. And then there's like a card of like, if you proceed, it'll work out. If you stop, you'll hit the same wall again. And then other things may come. Like, it's not that we're running away from our problems, but after that Fool was the Seven of Cups, or the Seven of Swords. And this is what felt like it could be self-sabotaging. It could be something or someone, welcome back, that keeps us from doing the thing. And then it was the Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. And it's almost like if you allow it to detract you, if you allow it to stop you, if you allow it to become your next regret, then of course it will. Or like, it will. And then it's like, is it going to turn out to the Nine of Swords or the Nine of Pentacles, where we're like more resourcefully aware, question mark? Or is it going to be this Nine of Swords, or this Three of Swords, where it's like, it's disappointment, it's heartbreak, it's failure yet again. And then Justice is here. And Justice is like, it's kind of cold. It's like, wherever you end up in all of this, or wherever you end up within this 18 months, or after this 18 months is over and the node shift into Pisces, it'll be deserved. It'll be because either you did the thing or you didn't do the thing. Either you were a cooperating piece or you were that competitive, whatever. And then that Queen of Swords is coming right after that. And with this Five of Cups and the Chariot, there was the Eight of Cups. It almost mirrors that. It's like, sometimes it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult. But if we can keep moving, and that's Cancer right there, the Chariot. If we can keep moving forward, it's the Ten of Cups. It's this Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Four of Pentacles, you can stay. I already read that part. It's like, we only stop where we stop. Or it only stops where we stop right now. And all of this is in between the sun and the moon. So conditioning and celebration, we may be reconditioning ourselves. you know, by changing up habits, by changing up patterns, by changing up um, how we let. And it's interesting that this is like there's a secret business meeting or the secret business conference with Pluto, and it feeling like that energy of like it's not the people, it's not the things, it's not the situations that we always attribute to us not being further in life or to the state of the world necessarily. Oh, well, here's Six of Wands. There's your encouragement that you're going to do A-okay. You're going to be victorious. You're going to emerge confident and battle hardened and able to keep moving through anything. There's the King of Cups again. King of Cups, especially this one, has been appearing a lot lately, which is Scorpio energy. Scorpio just held the South Node. I think it's empty right now. I don't think anything else is in Scorpio. Where's my phone? Let's see. I am pretty sure. Scorpio. The midheaven is in Scorpio right now, but as soon as that moves out of Scorpio, it will be empty. Yeah, nothing is in Scorpio. Sagittarius is also empty. So the first thing that's going to hit Scorpio is going to be the moon, because the moon is just that fast. Pluto's not going to retrograde all the way back to Scorpio. Nothing's going to retrograde from Pisces all the way back. Mars is 4 degrees Virgo. So that'll probably hit Scorpio after the moon. I don't know if that'll be before Scorpio season or after. I don't know. Anyway. The square. That's what I wanted to see. The square between the sun and moon and Eris. That's the next aspect. Oh, look, there's the sun at the cut. Look at that. The Six of Wands and the sun. There is this like keep your eye on the prize type of energy. I don't know if since the node shifted out of Taurus, if things will start to like almost speed up again, or where it'll seem like there's a more immediate reward for like quote unquote doing the right thing. Or it's like when we make those difficult choices, when we face those challenges and overcome those obstacles, then we'll see almost more immediately or more readily how that benefits us and how it serves us. And so it'll be easier to keep going with that like positive reinforcement. Ooh, first time camping. Oh, snap. One of my work buddies, I guess, one of my coworkers went camping over the weekend. I don't think it was his first time, though. All right. Eris and the sun and moon. The square. Tell me about this Aries Cancer square, please. I'll give it 2 more. 1 more. This is it. Nothing. Bottom of the deck is the 3 of Wands. That's interesting. Well, it's courage. Yeah. That's why, like, there's nothing. Eris came out with courage. And that it feels like that's literally what it's going to take to face this conditioning. And I think conditioning too is, I think there's a lot of emphasis on like how it's a lot of emphasis on how other people and on how the environment affects and influences us. But I think conditioning, there's another part of conditioning where it's like what we do within ourselves, like our own choices and decisions, right? Like we condition ourselves to whenever something comes up in life, then we go and cope with whatever we cope with. Or we condition ourselves to face challenges and rise to the occasion, overcome obstacles. It's just like the patterns and habits that we form. And this may be the courage to break some old ones or to establish some new ones. Now, the things coming with celebration, we have moment to moment, the two of rainbows, and also isolation, the three of the mind. These are the two cards that were face down. This feels like that. Oh, it's literally the two of pentacles. That's why the rainbows are pentacles in this deck. I was going to say this feels like that two of pentacles. This was the girl who was like doing what she can to just keep moving the needle forward. Isolation, this is that, like, again, it's when we fall into the misery, the misery being the company that misery loves to keep, where we just like complain about stuff or we blame anybody and everybody, and we don't ever do anything that we can do. We never do the things that are for us to do in order to get ourselves even a little bit closer to where we actually want to be. This one moves forward in the direction of playfulness and the future. The other one, isolation, looks back towards conditioning. I don't know, because the energy of collaborations also came up. There was a lot of like king and queen, two of cups lovers, stuff like that. There's like a gravitation towards like-mindedness, um, if that makes sense, or like it's beyond being like-minded, um, but like doing, you know. Who was that? That is contentment and happiness, luxury, reading on Davenport's. Eris is a man possessed of more gifts than he can hold. That one was all about just using the right thing at the right time, rather than being overwhelmed by the amount of possibilities, or rather than falling into an almost analysis paralysis state of like never actually making a choice, but just constantly brainstorming. It's like, no offense to anybody, but it's like when it makes me think of a stoner on the couch that like gets high and talks about all of these things, but there's never any action towards like making any of them real, unless there is, and until there is, you know what I mean, then it's different. And again, it's like it's not judgment, it's just one of those like where you just talk about it. Or it's like it's no different than someone who constantly complains about a situation but never, it's like the person that like constantly complains about their job and is constantly talking about quitting their job, but they never quit, they never leave. They're like, oh, like I have a friend or I have a cousin, I have this connection, I have this person in my network who would offer me this or who's volunteered to do that or whatever, but they never like follow up. If Eris is bringing courage, then there almost has to be a question of worthiness, or if something would actually like happen. Sometimes As humans, it's easy to settle into a sure thing that's absolute garbage rather than to take a chance on something else that may or may not work out. There's also with the plant that's growing in the concrete, this is literally like not becoming a victim of one's circumstances. It's overcoming the conditioning, or it's creating an internal conditioning that can outmaneuver external circumstances. Because the conditioning is concrete, well, it's like boulders and rocks. This is the conditioning. Nothing in the conditions, nothing in the environment of this plant tells us that it's suitable for life to grow. But yet, this plant has the courage to sort of like do it anyway. You know what I mean? And that comes from within. I think also with this celebration, it's like if you can find a group of people, if you can find a person, if you can find a community of people that encourage you beyond your circumstances, it's always helpful, right? But at the same time, we also have to be willing to receive that. And we have to be willing to take those opportunities. It's again, it's the person that has the cousin, the uncle, the friend, the neighbor, the whoever that volunteers to, it's like, I'll put in a good word for you. And they like, we never take them up on that offer. So that's the sun, moon, Eris. And Eris being Eris in her story, it feels like Eris feels like an energy of one that can extend compassion, but like does not pity. Because Eris is like, well, if I've been through and like my story is my story. I had the courage to overcome and to bloom when I was nowhere near anyone or anything that encouraged me to do so, and I did it. So I can extend compassion and I can help you with this. Can't do it for you. And I'm not going to sit here and just listen to excuses all day either, because there are better things that I can do with my time. Again, there's the part of this energy that's almost a little like, it's not that it's unforgiving, but it's almost a little, it's not deserved. But it's like if we don't do the things that we know are for us to do, or if we don't do the things that are within our power to do. All right, see you later, Kua. Then it's like, what do we expect? It's a grand cardinal cross. So none of these energies are the ones that are necessarily going to do it for us. Cardinal energy is all about taking action. It's about forging a new path. It's about moving forward. Even Pluto retrograde right now is in a cardinal energy. You know what I mean? Pluto retrograde right now is this thunderbolt, which is what, the secret business meeting? Yeah, a secret business conference. Now it's interesting because that thunderbolt feels like it's something that can come in and break us out of a situation, regardless of if we want it or not. Regardless of if we're ready or not, it is pure tower energy. This is what is on the menu. This is what is happening. Now, the thing is, you can break somebody out of jail. You can break somebody out of prison. You can change someone's external circumstances. But there's a limited amount of what someone from the outside can do for someone on the inside. There's a lot that we can do, again, with that celebration. But ultimately, with that either isolation or that moment to moment, it falls on each of us as individuals to either take that and to move it forward and to use it to fuel us to do all of those amazing, wonderful things that that person who believes in us knows that we're capable of, that we are. Or it could be in one ear and out the other. It can be more complaints, more excuses, more reasons to not, whatever. Basically, we can recreate, like we can go back to the same life. You know what I mean? So next we have the nodes. Wait, what did I put next? 1, 2, 3 was Pluto, but I ended up reading the square first. So next is Pluto in Capricorn, and it is this Thunderbolt. I'm actually going to read Thunderbolt from the book, from the Osho Zen Tarot, because why not? The card shows a tower being burned, destroyed, blown apart. A man and a woman are leaping from it, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. In the background is a transparent, meditating figure representing the witnessing consciousness. You might be feeling pretty shaky right now, as if the earth is rocking beneath your feet. Your sense of security is being challenged, and the natural tendency is to try to hold on to whatever you can. But this inner earthquake is both necessary and tremendously important. If you allow it, you will emerge from the wreckage stronger and more available for new experiences. After the fire, the earth is replenished. After the storm, the air is clear. Try to watch the destruction with detachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. Um, that's what the books say, obviously, because I just read it. See that again, it fits that tower energy of like things just happening. What fits that is the Sabian symbol of a secret business meeting, conversations that we're not necessarily a part of, decisions that we don't necessarily make ourselves, that we just either we like go along with it or we don't. Either we continue to patronize whatever business is, or we take our business elsewhere if we don't like the choices and decisions that they make. It's interesting. So the two situations presented for this thunderbolt are either an unpopular opinion or something with extremely high stakes. I'm just gonna get 3 cards. I'm gonna shuffle this and pull 3 cards at random. Oh, not the 5 of Pentacles with the 3 of Wands. So first is the Pluto square to Libra, South Node. 3 of Wands, of course. Next is a Pluto square. No, that's the Pluto opposition. We're not doing that. We're doing exacts right now. So next is the Pluto square to the North Node, which is the 2 of Pentacles. And then that's it. North Node Aries, South Node Libra, 29, 29, 29. So Thunderbolt, 3 of Wands into playfulness with the South Node. And it also 2 of Pentacles is into receptivity with the North Node. Again, because it's the tower, because it's this thunderbolt, it's an energy of things just changing, things happening in life. And there are some changes that we are probably definitely going to want. There are some changes that we're probably not going to be as keen on jumping into. But it feels like this receptivity is important because that's where the 2 of Pentacles is. The Two of Pentacles is a card of evaluating choices and decisions, different options, very pros and cons. It's juggling if we like try to do everything. But there is a way to properly prioritize with the Three of Pentacles, with the Two of Pentacles, and it can just be a card of prioritization. Courage and receptivity. There's a flower in both of these. Aries is coming out with the flowers. Courage and receptivity. It's interesting that the North Node is asking us to be receptive. And that the South Node is asking us to be playful. It's interesting that Aries is coming out with, instead of playfulness, receptivity. And that Libra is coming out with receptivity, or is coming out with playfulness rather than receptivity. Because you would think that Libra would be the receptive one, and Aries would be the playful one. And so there's almost an understanding of like the work that needs to be done in order to play. It's like all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, but Jack can't just play all day, especially if Jack has bills to pay. You know what I mean? But it's not just about bills or no bills. We don't have to make it like abundance versus lack. It's just like doing what is necessary. Sometimes there are things that we have to do in order to put ourselves in a more favorable position. Sometimes there are choices and decisions that we need to make in order to actually be able to play. You know what I mean? And because that is on the Three of Wands, it almost like it lies beyond. The Three of Wands is a card of making it as far as we can on our own, and then needing something or someone to sort of get us along the next leg and the next journey. I'm actually going to look, I'm going to give these another shuffle and look before and after the Six of Swords. Yeah, it might be a time of like, if you have a lot of people that you commiserate with in your life, and not necessarily as many that like encourage you to keep moving and to keep dreaming bigger and to keep you on a path of growth and progression and expansion, there may be a lot of tension in those relationships. There may not be. It almost kind of depends on you. Queen of Swords and the Four of Swords. This feels like a command. The Queen of Swords is saying, rise. And the Four of Swords is saying, okay, I guess my nap is over. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. And then Strength is right under that. I'm looking before and after the Six of Swords, though. There's my Six of Swords. Oh, gosh, you can't escape it. Can't escape it. The cut was the Ten of Wands and the Three of Cups, which was, again, that energy of like, the Ten of Wands is a card of being overburdened. I'm overburdened and burnout. Oh my gosh, I'm overburdened and burnout too. Like, oh, no way. Let's be overburdened and burnout together. I'm a complainer, especially in the past. I used to be a lot more of a complainer than I am today. I've kind of sort of low-key become a doer, you know, rather than complaining about the dishes in the sink or leaving the dishes in the sink to tomorrow. I'm like, I'll just wash them tonight. I surprise myself. Honestly. Like I get it. But at the same time, it's like if we want differently, sometimes we have to do something. The Three of Cups and the Two of Swords is before and after this. And then there's the Page of Wands. This is honestly, it's an energy of like there not being any guarantees in life. Like nothing is guaranteed. Well, that you loosely. Ever since the move, it's been a struggle to make it to the gym. I went today, but it's been a struggle. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go for like a week and a half, 2 weeks because I'm moving and that's gonna be my exercise. Now that I'm not moving, what's my excuse? I was doing so well for so long. My excuse is I need to find different workouts because, I move a lot more than I used to. And so I need an exercise that's more than just, I'm trying to get some movement because I get movement. I need something else. The Two of Swords and the Three of Cups around the Six of Swords. There's also an energy of depth here because there's like an entire body of water behind the Two of Swords. And then in the Three of Cups, they're like dancing in a puddle. He's looking out into the water. I chose the Six of Swords. I don't know if oh gosh. Well, now the Three of Wands is on the floor. I chose the Six of Swords because it is one of the cards with a boat. I don't think I showed you the card though. If you're not familiar, and I don't assume that you all are, just in case somebody isn't. I'll put it back in the deck. Wait, there's my Page of Wands. Did I shuffle it? I'm like, I thought I didn't think it'd be this difficult to find. Here it is. Yeah, there's a lot of like deep. This is more, I guess it's Cancer. Cancer rules the moon. I don't necessarily think that Cancer lacks a depth of emotion. But I think it's also interesting that Cancer on this channel has been, for the past few months, an energy of like getting used to its vulnerability without needing all of its defensive mechanisms. Because it was like Cancer was moving from one shell to the other and they got locked out. They got stuck outside of a shell and they had to be vulnerable. But in that, they were learning to navigate dynamics and connections and their own emotions and the emotions of others. It's like rather than needing a shell, their skin just like hardens in a way, right? Basically, they become not jelly without a shell. They don't depend on a shell for structure. It's almost like Cancer growing a backbone. When Cancer had a shell, they didn't need a backbone because that's what the shell was for. But the shell was external. The backbone is internal. There's also something that, I don't know, it's just reading as a little harsh. All right, see ya. Yeah, it's just reading as, it's not harsh, but it feels like it is. It's like some people aren't going to do it, some people are. We all make our own choices and decisions, and there are points in time where that is mirrored. That's the Six of Pentacles. It's what is given is received. And so if there's it is what it is. What is given is received. Now, the opposition between receptivity and playfulness, between the North Node and South Node, between here's my 29. Oh, I was like looking at my little papers. Between a duck pond and its brood and 3 mounds of knowledge on a philosopher's head. I kind of love the 3 mounds of knowledge on the philosopher's head. There is because it talked about politically, it was like, it's just like it's being aware of other situations, of other conditions. It's operating with the knowledge that we're not the only person or people in the world. Um, I kind of really wish there was a Cancerian energy here now. It feels like the daughter of revolution, Page of Swords. I'm gonna pull one more though. Page of Swords is looking at looking at receptivity with its sword pointed towards playfulness. So it's like knowing that we want quality of life to improve, knowing, seeing all of the things that we want, but also understanding that to get there, it may require something of us. And whatever it requires can be completely different, right? It could require us being honest with people when they ask if we mind. It's like, hey, do you mind doing this for me? It's like, honestly, I do. I'm kind of busy and I don't have the time, or I'm feeling exhausted and I would love to, believe me, I would, but I just can't today. Maybe that triggers your people pleaser and you're like, oh, I can't do that because what if they hate me or think that I hate them? And it's like anyone that loves and honors and respects you should be understanding of when you need you time, especially if you're like always there. You know what I mean? There's a difference between like people who are using you and people who actually like acknowledge and respect and honor you. We have the Seven of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Beating them off with a stick. He said, not my queen. This is the opposition between the receptivity and playfulness. This might honestly be, I was thinking of the Five of Wands and how sometimes it can literally just be everyone being excited about something and having a different idea of the way that it should go. Or if it's one person, it's having a lot of conflicting interests, but the only conflict is like time. Like if you're doing one thing, you can't be doing the other thing unless you can find a way to do all of them at the same time. But it's not necessarily always grounded or based in just pure like competition or whatever. So in the Seven of Wands, this might be, especially with this Page of Swords, it's like making those choices and decisions to have more balance. It's just more balance. Either way, whether we work too much or we're not working enough, whether we play too much or we're not playing enough, whether we are overly receptive or whether we're not receptive at all, it's bringing things into balance. And there is a self-assuredness. Now, this is something that I would expect to see from Aries. Just because it feels a little bit more defiant. Like I'm going to do what I want. But it's not, again, it's like it's not to only be like that. Or maybe it's to find these areas of overlap. Because the Three of Cups is all over this, which is a card of coming together, which is a card of acknowledging difference. But it's like it's harmonious. It's like the Three of Cups is not an echo chamber, but also the energy of the Three of Cups is not, we're going to like disrespect this one person and they're just going to take it because they don't want to be confrontational. Like that's not the Three of Cups either. And then like calling somebody, like saying to somebody, hey, like I don't like it when you make these comments, or I don't like it when you treat me like this. Like making a comment like that isn't being Like that's not sowing seeds of discord, or that's not being difficult. It's like, again, for the people that love and cherish and value and honor and respect us, like there should be some love and some respect and some honor and some other stuff, right? Like they should care how we feel. And they should be able to, for what they can do and for what they are responsible for, if they really like want to maintain a relationship, or again, like have legitimate like love and honor or respect, they should be able to accommodate. Like if the request is like, hey, can you stop like calling me names? You know what I mean? Or like I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. Like, oh, I don't even mean it like that. Like, what kind of person do you think I am? Like, I call you names because you're my friend, and I don't blah 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 blah. Basically, like I'm not listening to you. And again, it works two ways. But I don't know. Anyway. Three of Cups is all over this. It kept coming out. And it's, I guess it can be the company we keep. And again, sometimes the company, with this conditioning, going back to the sun and moon, the moon and conditioning, the sun and celebration, sometimes the company that we keep can make it easier. Six of Wands at the bottom of the, again, like we got this. We got this. Six of Wands can be a minor chariot. I mean, there's a horse. There's one horse in the Six of Wands and two horses in the chariot. So it's every night pre-chariot energy. Well, yeah, every night is like minor chariot energy. I don't know. This will be an interesting time. And then again, with the fighting at the bottom of the deck, I feel like this is almost this it's not a question, it's like a realization that at the end of the day, the only person that we really fight to do anything is ourselves. Maybe not. Take it as it resonates, if it resonates. Hello, Janelle. How are you? But yeah. It feels like it can be a gorgeous and amazing time. It feels like it's not going to be without challenge, and it feels very much like whatever we get out of it is what we put into it. But again, with it being all this cardinal energy, and I did go looking for cardinal energy. It's the Grand Cardinal Cross in the sky, okay? Did I pick those specifically? Yeah, but also they're there. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of like, also within this 29-degree cross, there's a lot of like, am I happy? Are you happy? Are we happy? What's the state of the world? What needs to be done to change it? Do things have to be the way that they always are? And then we can have secret business conferences. The secret business conference could be you and your Three of Cups. That's like, okay, we're going to do this thing. It's time for us to unveil. It's time for us to invest. It's time for us to move this thing forward. And there was so much emphasis on like politics and society, but in a way of like generational changes and consistencies that are just like, it feels like it's for the positive. It feels like it's for the betterment. It can just as easily not be, of course. But again, there was that energy of like, it's not a secret if everybody suspects who it is. You know what I mean? It'd be like the worst kept secret, and it's not a poorly kept secret. Oh, sharing. Look at that. Sharing, caring, and sharing. It can be fun. I'll give you some when you have none. That was like a commercial. But yeah, Oh yeah. Sometimes the secret business conference is us, and the things that are honestly sort of like innate within us. That can be the thing that we were meant to do. This 18 months can be the either crucial and pivotal to setting us on our path and us being in purpose, or it can be when we start to live it, or where we really like where that starts to move and progress. But it's like it's gonna move and progress as we move and progress. And also there's networking and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Um, Celebration, Three of Cups was all over it. No, pity party is a party, right? That's a lot of cards. We'll look at them. We have the Fool. Again, the Fool is also coming out all over this. A lot of people associate Aries with the Fool because it's the Fool and because Aries is Aries. It is what Uranus and air. Uranus is in Taurus right now, finishing up what the North Node in Taurus started. We have the Fool, we have guilt, we have the Master in reverse, but I'm taking it up right. We have projections, we have slowing down, and then we have new vision in reverse, but I'm also turning it upright. This feels a little bit like, and when I was pulling all of the cards in between the sun and the moon, with that, like, those who do and those who don't. Um, and like, there's no judgment in any of this. It's just literally, it's like quite literally, are you going to sit on the couch and talk about it all day? Are you going to sit on the phone and complain about it all day? Are you going to go post on the forums or whatever? Or are you going to go out and do something? Are you going to start to do those things that you talk about doing, like in real life? Just start moving the needle forward. Like, is it going to be the Two of Pentacles or is it going to be that? And again, like, it came out with courage. I feel like it isn't extremely overstated, but there has to be such a subtle, like, what we think we're actually worthy and deserving of. And if we're going to put in the effort to get us where we should go, or where we can go, not should go, if we're going to be open and receptive to criticism, but receptive to legitimate criticism, but also receptive to praise, receptive to offers of assistance, or receptive to offering assistance. Like, it feels like a space where really beautiful and really powerful communities can be built, where like the most brilliant of minds can come together and to bring forward an energy of solution that actually, like, to bring forward solutions that don't create more problems. And it feels again like a lot of that can start happening now. um, but there are these little, like, injections or insertions of, like, who we used to be, and maybe the people around who we used to be. Like, oh, you think like you're better, or you think you're too good, or you like you're doing this and you're doing that. You never do this, you never do that. Like, I miss my friend. It's like, girl, well, that friend that you miss got tired of being miserable. Um, and it's just like, it's not. That's why I put the master up, right? Like, it's not to be guilted or shamed into not doing the thing that is for us to do, or it's not even what's for us to do. It's like, it's to not be guilted or shamed into staying small or staying stagnant or staying unhappy. It's really, and like, that's where the Aries kicks in, where it's like, I got to do what I have to do for me and my happiness and well-being, and when I'm happy and I'm taken care of, I'll be better able to take care of you, if that's something that I still do at that point. You know what I mean? But what's not going to happen is like us both being like, I can't anymore. And then there are projections, and there's slowing down, and there's new vision. Projections is interesting. Projections is this linchpin that hasn't necessarily appeared in this way yet. And it's very much so related to this guilt that I've been talking about. But this is where we assume that other people are going to think whatever of us. So, like, let's say that we're new to an arena. And so, like, we assume that everyone's going to think that we're inexperienced, that we are gullible, that we don't know what we're talking about. And it's going to make it a lot more daunting than it is. Could it be true? Sure. It doesn't matter. No. Yes. The projecting, like, it's going to be whatever it's going to be. We don't have to make things worse than they are, or even necessarily better, because it's going to be what it's going to be. Projections might also be like, if I start on this path, then my friends are going to say this about me, or my parents are going to think this about me, or the folks at work, or whatever. Like, it's all of these assumptions about what other people are going to say, do, or think. And then that can slow down this new vision. It's almost like everything goes to either build and support or to destroy and take down. Some things are a little bit more neutral. I think too, though, sometimes it might be helpful to slow down and to fall into that vision, or to really, I don't know if anything's in Pisces. I guess Saturn is retrograding Pisces and Neptune is also retrograding, I think, Pisces. Um, it's not to be like delusional, but it's when the vision motivates us. It's like slow down and allow the vision to motivate. Like, if there's a choice or a decision that you have to make and you don't know which one to make, slow down, feel into the vision, and then see which one sort of like gets you closer, which one resonates more to that. And this is a new vision, so I'm not even going to talk about the old vision. The Six of Wands has come out enough that I don't, even though the Nine of Wands is staring at me right now. You know, I try to be honest and realistic with the energy. Like, if it's going to be a challenge, I try to say that up front so that we're not expecting whatever. And then when challenge comes, it can be one of those like, oh, well, like, I didn't know this was going to happen. Am I making the right whatever? Did I make a misstep? Did I make a misturn? Has the divine abandoned me? It's like, ooh, she came out recently. No thingness. No thingness was the challenge. And the advice, I don't remember what the advice was, but I'm pretty sure no thingness was the challenge when I used this deck. It's almost like, I was going to say, it's almost like we're creating things that don't yet exist. But also, this new vision can take us into a space that we've not yet experienced. So in a way, it doesn't exist until we create it. And again, cardinal energy, which is all about doing, which is all about moving, shaking, making, and creating. And when we can have more self-awareness, and when we can face the world in its honesty and in its truth without over-embellishing, either way, positive or negative, it's like it increases our ability to make those choices and decisions, or to exert more, to be more empowered. No problem. I never take offense. I know there are a lot of people on here. And I also know that I'll be live for hours. And the replay is here. So, All right. So that was the Osho Zen, the final cards from the Astro Matrix. I've been seeing this Page of Wands a lot too, which I'm not mad at, which I do like. All right. Astro Matrix. Ooh. Okay. I've been seeing the Page of Swords a lot too. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is quite literally like knowing what is and what is not worth fighting for. And it's also applying the amount of force that is necessary. The Five of Swords like does way too much for way too little, for like no reason at all. Are you gonna focus? You gonna act like you don't know how to focus? Hell, you've been focusing perfectly. Thank you. It can be it's like when the means don't justify the extremes or whatever. The first card that flipped over is Strength, which feels very appropriate. Then we had the Page of Swords and the Three of Wands. This is almost like, are we going to talk about it, think about it, or are we going to be about it? It's also interesting because it feels like the Five of Swords is almost advice because the Strength card is here. I was going to say it almost feels like the willpower is necessary up front in a way. So I don't know if that means that, I don't know, because the Pluto came out with the Thunderbolt, but it was like, again, the secret business meeting feels positive. It just does. But it was like, it's like, it almost feels like we're not going to be offered opportunities that we won't take. It's not that, but that's what this is like. It requires a certain amount of willpower in order to even be offered the whatever. Now, the positive, reassuring part of that is like any opportunity that comes your way, you are more than enough for. Take it. You know what I mean? Like, do it. It wouldn't be offered to you if it wasn't for you, type of energy. I don't know if it almost plays into that justice. Or who was that? That was Eris with courage. That was like, I'm not going to waste my time. I can be compassionate because I've been there. But it's almost that like opportunity is not a lengthy visitor. And that's why it almost feels like the Five of Swords is advice. But it's not to do too much. I don't know if it's like consistency. It's to be consistent or determined or to persevere in a way that we maybe not necessarily have before. It could also be in a different way than we have before, because nothing in this energy is about overcompensating. It's not about proving. It's about showing up. There's a difference. And so it's like it's always at your best. Like no off days, but obviously rest. Because there was the playfulness of Libra is also there, of the Libra South Node. The playfulness and the three mounds of knowledge on a philosopher's head. One of the knowledges of the philosopher is all work and no play. That balance is necessary. And that sometimes you have to step away from a situation. There could also be, it feels like maybe almost being drawn in multiple directions, but having the ability to show up. If that makes sense. It's like maybe there's something that you're doing in like career and work. And then at the same time, your self care is flourishing because there's something new that you discover that you really enjoy. And so you're making time to go to wine and canvas every Friday, or to go take ballroom, not ballroom, like salsa lessons every Tuesday or whatever. And then there's also like your family and your home life, or maybe there's a new relationship, or maybe there's a resurgence in your relationship, or maybe there's something in the energy of relationship that's going to require attention. Um, Aries is also an energy. It's like the cardinal. If I think cardinal energy, it's like cardinal fire, um, where it can almost kind of do it all. It's also again to know rest and to know balance and things like that. But it feels like a lot is going to be on offer. That's why Aries North Node was also that receptivity. Um, so yeah, this energy came out with Libra years ago. It was like what, 2020? Ooh, you want to see iterations of Patrick? Go back a few years. But I think it was like, it was either around the Virgo. I don't think it was the Virgo full moon, 2021. I think it was like February 2020. It was Libra, and it was scales, and where we place our worth that determines if we settle or if we really go for it. And it was basically like, don't sell yourself short. Things that come your way, like you are more than capable of. I'm gonna look before and after the Fool, and then I'll be done. Because dude might have a parachute in his book bag, and he's gonna jump off the cliff and then paraglide onto the boat, and the boat is just gonna keep going. It's just gonna keep going because ain't nothing stopping in all this cardinal energy. Ooh, hold it. Okay, what did I say I was looking for? The Fool, because it feels like he's just about to jump off the cliff. Honestly, I think this is also it's because the Page of Swords keeps coming out. But it was here. There are watchers and there are doers. There's no is it 10 o'clock? No, it's not. I thought my phone just kicked into it's time to go to bed mode. There are watchers and there are doers, and there's no judgment. There's just like there are some people who need to see it done first. And sometimes the first person that does it may not necessarily do it perfect. It could be sloppy AF, but at least it's something. You know what I mean? At least there's somewhere to start. Like there are pros and cons, there are benefits and whatever, and it's not to force us into anything that is not us or that is not for us. Sometimes it is for us to be an example again, and that's perfectly fine. We all have different strengths and different areas of literally the last three cards. This is the Fool right here. This is the rest of the deck. Could have pulled from the top and been right there. The Ace of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Two of Cups. That's that whole new world. That's that whole new experience, but it's lived. It's experienced. Like this is real life. You know, when it comes to Pentacles, it's real life. It's not, that's why it's like it's more than just the dream, it's more than just the vision, it's more than just whatever. Like it's this grand cardinal cross in the sky. Apparently, it's the nodal shift into Aries as the node shifts out of Taurus, and as Uranus is doing its thing, as Jupiter is also transiting Taurus. Like it's time. If you haven't experienced it yet, It's time. The energies are prime. Again, because strength is here, it's going to require courage. It may not necessarily be easy. And it's not even difficult. It feels like sometimes the hardest part is just saying yes. Sometimes the hardest part is showing up. Sometimes the hardest part is doing it. And then literally, it's almost like this blind date, or it's a date. It doesn't have to be a blind date. There's someone that you're interested in, and they're interested in you. And they're like, hey, you want to go out for coffee? Or you're like, hey, you want to go out for coffee? And then it's this like, can you tell I'm a Pisces? I'm kidding. I mean, I am a Pisces. But it's this like internal freak out of like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? What am I going to wear? What if I'm awkward? What if I'm weird? What if they hate me? What if this person isn't everything that I dreamed for them to be? And it's like, the hardest part is saying yes. The hardest part is showing up. But when you show up, it's like effortless conversation that just flows. You're talking for hours. Your coffee's cold. You know what I mean? Because you're so enthralled in the conversation. It's just like the ease. And that's another thing about like the preparation of this Three of Wands. It's like when you get to that point, especially here, within the context of this, when you get to that point, it's like you're not gonna get on the wrong boat by accident. You know what I mean? Because your ticket says boat, and the person that's checking the tickets is checking for a boat, and the boat on the side says in very big letters, boat. And so when the yacht pull up, say, okay. Or if it's a dinghy, then, say, okay. Appearances can be deceiving. But I go for the yacht because strength is here, because the energy is like, it literally feels like the Three of Wands is going to have to jump off the cliff to get on that boat, or any boat, it's a James Bond card. There's a whatever waiting at the bottom of the cliff that I don't see. Like it's going to be for you. And I use the yacht because it feels like with the strength and with the energy of the Fool, it may be more than we thought. It may be greater than we think ourselves, whatever. I don't know what kind of opportunity is coming, but it's huge. The potential is huge. So there you go. 2 hours on the Sabian symbols for the new moon in Cancer. With the new moon Cancer, so sun, moon, Cancer, as the nodes shift into Aries, Libra, and as Pluto is already stationed retrograde. See, Pluto is so slow that it has to be smart. Pluto has to be infinitely cunning to be in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? Because Pluto made it all the way into Aquarius. And Pluto's slow. Pluto had to retrograde how long ago? Just to be in position now to exactly square the nodes as they transit into Aries, Libra, as there's the full moon, the new moon, in Cancer. I don't know if people think that Pluto is dumb, but it's like Pluto be masterminding. Like that whole Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius, that was Pluto. I'm telling you, it was Pluto. And then after the first Saturn-Pluto pass in Capricorn before before it retrograded, then when Saturn was retrograding back as Jupiter was approaching, that's when Pallas Athena retrograded too. She was like, if you ain't get it the first time, we're going to make sure you got it this time. But who was behind it? Pluto. I'm telling you, it's literally at the bottom of everything. I'm kidding. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Thank you all for being here. I hope that if you sit through any part of this, you find something that is of resonance. But more than that, I hope that if it is not for you, that you don't take it. I hope that your discernment wins. You know what I mean? And that your intuition is right behind it. And I hope you the courage. I hope you the courage to become that version of you that you always have been. You know what I mean? I hope you the strength to stop playing small or to go after it or to I hope you enough self whatever you need to bet your money on you and to take those chances and to take those opportunities and to do the things rather than talk about them. Because maybe in all of that talking, something, somebody, somewhere was listening. And so opportunities could start rolling in here now. And so it's like, okay, so was you all talkers you really about that life? Because here's opportunity. What are you going to do? I hope you say yes if it's for you to say yes. I hope you say no if it's for you to say no. And I hope you company that inspires you, that sees you, that empowers you, that can be there with you when you need them to be. Because every now and then you just got to vent a little bit. You know what I mean? I get it. But at the end of the day, I hope you company that, again, will also motivate you or encourage you or who at the very least won't stand against you whenever you begin doing whatever it is for you to do, in whatever way that manifests for you. And I also hope you a compassion and awareness enough of others to do things in a way that is truly groundbreaking. Because the selfish billionaire is a thing. Selfish has been around for a long time. You know what is new? You know what would be really hot? You know that missing daughter of the revolution? The one who's like, just because that's the way that it's always been doesn't mean that that's the way that it always has to be. What is a duck pond anyway? Ducks fly. Don't ducks migrate? So, what does the size of a small or however size pond matter to the duck that flies in the sky that gets a completely different perspective? Duck will walk on land, fly in the air, and swim in water. Like, those are the three mounds of knowledge. It's the air that it flies in, the water that it swims in, and the land that it'll walk on as it goes wherever ducks be going. All in the philosopher's head. It's like you got all that there, like, use it. We'll see. Peer pressure. So if y'all, so like I was catching up with my journey buddy before this. I had a thought to go live earlier, but I was like, I'm tired today. I'm exhausted. I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted last night. And I didn't sleep over the weekend. So I was banking on catching up on Z's last night, and that did not happen. And I was just telling her, because again, like when I was doing whatever reading I was doing, I was like, oh, the nodes are about to shift into Aries Libra, and we're going to have that new moon in Cancer. It's a pity that Capricorn's empty. Oh, wait, Pluto just retrograded Capricorn. But the dots didn't connect in my mind that there's this grand cardinal cross in the sky. You know what I mean? And so I told her, I was like, I was thinking about doing it. She was like, do it. You should do it. So here I am. I mean, I was already thinking about it, like I said. I mean, I can, but I don't know if there's going to be anything for. I'll let's see. August. What day is that? I guess I could always do the Lionsgate live before Lionsgate. I don't necessarily have to do it on Lionsgate. Lionsgate is on a Tuesday. I will heavily consider it. Codes of Harmony. It is heavily considered. If I'm not already live that day anyway, All right. But yeah, I don't know. It feels like as beautiful as this time is and can be, again, it's just like, but I guess I'm not surprised because it's a grand cardinal cross. Like all of the energy is cardinal. So for us to think that we can do little to nothing and get everything in this time under these circumstances and this energy, miracles exist. So I ain't gonna say it's not gonna happen. But if it doesn't happen, again, it was like justice and then the Queen of Swords. It was that what, Nine of Swords, the Fool, the Seven of Swords, whatever, and then justice. It was the Nine of Pentacles on one side, and then the Three of Swords on the other side. Anyway, so we do. We have a blue moon, and the blue moon is like 2 days after my half birthday. It's gonna be a full moon in Pisces, 2 days after my half birthday, and I'm a Pisces, so it's not. I'm just gonna say you're welcome. I'm just kidding. We're gonna make that energy gorgeous for everybody. Anyway. Yeah. Because I think last year we had 13 new moons and 12 full moons. And I don't know if we're getting to catch up this year by having a blue moon. I don't know. Anyway. All right. I will catch y'all when I catch y'all. Again, I hope you have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you everything that you need to do right by you. I hope you meet people who do right by you. I hope because like that three of cups came out all over this. Like-minded, like so it was it Amanda? On card messages that was said that first said like sold. Like-minded, like sold, like doing. Eve, hi, goodbye. Thanks for popping in. And I will catch y'all when I catch y'all. Again, I don't know. It seems like a gorgeous time. We got the nose for, and then it's gonna be North Node Pisces. Hello, it's like if we can navigate North Node Aries, like we can establish ourselves so well. We can set ourselves up so well to just have the most. I can't even believe this is my life. North Node in Pisces. What? You know what I mean? For like everybody though, you know what I mean? Not just for us, for I don't know, it's gorgeous. And oh, really quick before I go, apparently so apparently I don't know if y'all know the Vlog Brothers or not, but I didn't even watch the video that Hank Green did, but he made an angry shaky fist video at Johnson and Johnson because the patent on their tuberculosis vaccine was. I know people feel whatever type of way about vaccines. That's not the point right now. Okay, maybe it is, but it's not. That's not the concern that's pertinent to the conversation right now. The patent on Johnson and Johnson's vaccine was expiring, and apparently there's a lot of people in countries all over the world where tuberculosis is still a thing, and it's like treatment and stuff is not accessible or available. And he's been apparently like in the past year just so happened to get really into tuberculosis and treatments and stuff like that. And when he saw that Johnson and Johnson's like patent was about to expire, and when he was like, they about to keep that patent alive some way, they should let it go so people all over the world don't have to worry about tuberculosis anymore, the same way that we don't necessarily worry about polio. And of course, Johnson and Johnson was like, somebody on the internet insinuated that we would do that. And girl, like, come on, Johnson and Johnson. Don't act like y'all wasn't, because they did. But apparently there was enough, like, this is Age of Aquarius to me. This is the power of the collective to me. This is like individuals coming together for me. This is the level of change that like we can like affect right now. And I watched John. No, John was the one who was upset. Hank was the one. I don't know, girl. I get them confused. I watch them sometimes. So anyway, um, I saw the other brother get on and say how there was enough pressure applied that Johnson and Johnson actually agreed to allow there to be like generic versions of the treatment. So now there can be something affordable. And in the video, he was like, this was a once in a lifetime. It's never gonna happen ever again because it's wild that this even happened. And I'm like, why? Why does it have to be once in a lifetime? Why can't we do this in every area and sector? Like, why can't we demand like access to stuff and treatments that are actually like, treating rather than creating more problems? Like, that's like, why? It's gorgeous that it happened. And even I'm a little bit like, see, that's the power of like the collective. That's the power of an empowered collective, right? Not necessarily the power of a collective that collectively gives its power to something or someone else. But anyway, sir, no, you mean comatose? Not that I'm upset, because I'm not. I support, I'm excited to see what happens with comatose. But I subscribe to Rob Kenobi. I'm just playing. Woo, I was gonna give him a hard time about it, but I haven't. It's fine. But yeah, that happened. They actually agreed to allow for there to be like, of course they extended their patent or whatever. But they actually agreed to allowing generics to be made. And again, regardless of where, maybe that's easy for me to say because of where I stand. It's like the point isn't that it's the tuberculosis vaccine. The point is that it was a treatment that was being commodified by a company. And that company, under pressure, or maybe without pressure, but that company, in conjunction with pressure from one dude who has a platform, who was, according to his brother, like randomly and strangely obsessed at points. But it's like, that's the thing that it's like there's something within all of us that we're just like really passionate about or whatever. And when we can bring that to the forefront and come together, that's when changes, that's when things happen. So also don't begrudge your own journey, or don't think that the things that you're into, like that it won't amount to anything, or that it doesn't matter or whatever, because it can. I mean, that was a whole year and some change of him doing that, but look what happened. That's an age of Aquarius. That's the Uranus and Taurus. That's the Pluto and Capricorn, and I guess now kind of Aquarius, where like things are malleable enough. The world has experienced enough, whatever, that in some ways it's very much so enough is enough, and we're demanding better. And then better happens. Crazy, right? So by the time North Node comes into Pisces, we should be living in the jets and flying cars. And anyway, all right, I'm done. I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Until next time, I hope you're using your intuition, discernment, guidance, knowledge, wisdom, guides, friends, whatever. I hope that you get signs that make sense to you, and that you are well until next time, be it Lionsgate or before.